Greetings, people. You know who it is. I don't have to explain myself like I do over on the Timpire channel. Um, but obviously, based on the name of this video, you know what it is. It is finally the third installment of my Alien Discussions videos. So it's been quite a long while since I've done this series. The reasons being semi-technical and semi-personal. Technically, the reason, or one of the reasons, was that I got tired of the old mic. But, you know, on top of that, really, it was me just not really feeling like making another one of these discussions due to the response the Vong episode got, which is more the personal reason why I didn't want to do it. But don't one of you, however, think I rescind any, and I mean any of my points made in that video. The Yuuzhan-Vong are a fundamental flaw in the Star Wars Legends universe. Any which way you choose to look at them, they break previously defined rules, which you may contend is a good thing for a story. However, there needs to be a level of reality we, the reader slash viewer or listener or whatever, are willing to accept. For Star Wars, that level is quite fantastic and near boundless, and that's how I originally approached the Vong, with optimism. Then they broke reality, not ours, but Star Wars' own reality. That's the fundamental flaw. Okay, just quick couple notes before I get on to the title of this video, which I'm sure you people want to know what the heck it is, if you don't know already. Okay, why does their armor naturally deflect lightsabers? The armor used by the Vong is grown, yes, by shapers, but how in the universe of probability and possibility did they create armor that just happened to deflect sabers? Okay, the counter-argument is that they were doing nothing in the unknown regions and gathering intel. Fine, but unless they went out of their way to kill a Jedi and take their lightsaber and measure its power and strength, they would have no legitimate way of knowing what to do. Also, no, I will not accept that Vergery gave them the intel, as her motives were clearly to hold the Vong off from their invasion plans, and though she essentially has been retconned to being a Sith or Dark Force user, she has no reason to give them intelligence that may well have given them the ultimate advantage in invading a galaxy that at the time of her capture was chock full of Jedi Knights and Masters. Not to mention the Sith no one were keen on yet, you know, Sidious and Dooku, but that's besides the point. Second, so the whole Force being cut off from them, or to put it the best for the fanboys, as I'm sure they like, them being deadened to the Force and thus making them more difficult to use the Force upon or manipulate directly. You're going to tell me that the Force cut these people off because they turned sadistic once they began attacking their own galaxy when the two droid races waged war on their home planet. And the Force never saw fit to cut off Palpatine because he's not self-sadistic? Why is the Force that arbitrary? If it has a will and purpose, as we can see through the Chosen One, why does it selectively decide the Vong are unworthy of it, but not the Sith, who have by far done worse and more horrendous things to others, and yes, even themselves, than a little self-mutilation? Genocide as well. Also, you're going to tell me that the Force flows more freely through droids than the Vong. By definition, the Vong are hard to manipulate with the Force directly because the Force does not flow through them or connect them as it does with all things living in the universe, or, you know, even unliving things. Yet, we see Yoda move entire armies of droids with a wave of a hand. The fuck kind of sense does that make? The Force more freely flows through metals and gears and circuits than flesh and blood because, hey, droids have never done anything fucked up, right? They don't deserve to be cut off from the Force, but no, the Vong do because, oh my god, they're the worst things in creation. Thirdly, so we come to see the whole Vong Empire is controlled not by their actual supreme leader, but by his jester, Onimi. But the way in which he rules it is by using the Force. Great, so why the fuck can he do it? Oh, you see, Tyber, it has to do with the implants and all the stuff he went through that allowed him... Bullshit! Why can he do it but no one else can? Oh, you see, Tyber, he didn't tell anyone. Again, bullshit. No one ever happened upon the same circumstances that made their connection to the Force possible again. Also, you all want to bitch about midichlorians being all scientific and taken from the mythology of the Force, yet from a couple implants and other happenstance in this one being's life, who, like the others, is supposedly cut off from the Force, he can reestablish Force capabilities. So, it's all in the brain. So it wasn't just George who was coming up with moronic ideas on how the Force is essentially a scientific mutation rather than the gift of mythological degrees. So shut the fuck up already, you sniveling fucking fanboys. Selectively choosing what does and does not make sense to you and trying to shove the BS down everyone's throat because you feel yourself to somehow be superior fans of something does not make you in fact right or any fucking thing. Also, no, I will not accept that this came out after episode 1 as an excuse for any of this Anami stuff. Anami was a character in development before episode 1 was released, and George was not keen on sharing ideas, plans, and plots with writers of novels he likely didn't care too much about. You all will just have to accept that Keyes and Lucino and whoever else worked on the New Jedi Order had dumbass ideas as according to your OT fanboy logic of, oh my god, no science, evil mysticism, good is, oh my, you know what, I could go for a while again, but I'm not going to. The Yuuzhan-Vong are an inept, overpowered, overly defended, and contrived idea that at the end of the day did nothing new, nothing original. What, organic tech already had species who did that? What, attacked the New Republic? We've been here a million times before. What, killed trillions of peoples? Yep, been here too. Ooh, they decimated a few planets. The Empire did just as much, if not more, damage to worlds they themselves owned in the first place. Not even mentioning the fact that they wanted the galaxy to fall apart following the Empire because they stated themselves that the Empire under Palpatine and Vader would have been able to not only hold them back, but, I contend, wipe the fucking floor with them. They are not good. They are, in fact, shit. Pure and simple. And I will not apologize. If you like them, then fine. More power to you. Honestly, I don't care. But don't come to me and call me shit for pointing out the flaws of these creatures and giving an opinion you find intrinsically wrong. I mean, come on. I love the prequels. I'm not giving the fans shit for anything. I'm saying this to the moronic fanboys. So again, if you like the Vong, I'm sorry if I offend you, but I'm not trying to. But rather, your overly zealous fanboy counterparts who deserve nothing but scorn for helping divide the fans and the so-called community we Star Wars people supposedly have, which, quite frankly, doesn't even exist, because they want to shovel their reality and their truth and their concept of what is Star Wars down everyone else's collective throats, and I'm sick and tired of it, because the same fucking people who defend the original trilogies and say that it is God's gift to the earth, it came through George Lucas like the fucking Messiah, are the same people who defend the Vong, saying that it was the only really good idea that the expanded universe ever had. Go fuck yourself. Whew. Okay. So, I know many of you must be confused about the point and name of this video now, since I just wasted all this time reinforcing or going off again on my Vong distaste. Well, with that out of the way, I now feel more free to once again make another actual aliens discussions videos. And let me tell you, this one is one of my personal favorite obscure races that we're going to talk about today. And obviously the name seems rather odd. I might very well be mispronouncing it. If you can come to me in the comment section and tell me if I am mispronouncing this, more power to you, but I'm going to pronounce it the way I pronounce it. It's the way it looks to me. It could be totally wrong. You're just going to have to deal with it, I guess, because I tried looking up ways of detecting how you say this word, or words, and nothing really helped me out. There wasn't even a real pronunciation help on Wikipedia when I went to go look up some additional information. But let's begin the video in full now with Alien Discussions number 3, Mingle Mingle. Now, the Mingle Mingle are indeed one of the most obscure species ever in Star Wars. However, the implications of their existence and the effect their existence has on the galaxy is far more powerful. Mingle Mingle are supposedly from the world of Mnggal-Mnggal, within the unknown regions. They have no humanoid form. Indeed, they have a form analogous, frankly, with any known race or species within or from without the known galaxy. If indeed I am missing one, feel free to post whom you feel relates to them in the comments below. But let me fully describe their form, which will be spaced out first here and then a little bit later on. Their form is that of gray sludge. However, they, or rather it, can move at will even in a sludge state. Think more sludgy version of Venom from Spider-Man. They can form eye stalks to see, and they can form a sort of fanged mouth that can attack a sentient near to it, and you'll see why that's a big deal in a moment. And again, for those of you who know what the Mingle Mingle are, this might seem all like really basic information to you, but I'm trying to actually explain this stuff to people who don't know what Mingle Mingle are. They don't bother to go to Wikipedia, and they like listening to people talk about this obscure lore stuff. So if you know what the Mingle Mingle are, good for you. We've read the same obscure shit and taken the same interest in it. But keep in mind, there are people probably who haven't heard of them before and are probably wondering what the hell this is right now. So their home planet of Mnggal-Mnggal, I'll try and put up a little slide showing you how that's spelled in a minute, has no life upon it. Its oceans are full of Mingle Mingle, making the oceans more or less not ones of water, but of sentient muck. The continents have no life on them either. All foliage is dead, and the lands are rotted, as Mingle Mingle infested rivers and streams run through the lands, and Mingle Mingle covers the surface even beyond the waters. Above Mnggal-Mnggal is a massive ring of destroyed starships from many eras of galactic history, even as far back as the Gree, at the height of their power and technological prowess. There's even ships from Zim the Despot in this ring. Now, if any of you know who Zim is, you know that's really old. If you know who the Gree are and what their technological height was that era, you know that's probably even older. The ring around the world was itself created by the Mingle Mingle on a whim. Because you see, the Mingle Mingle, there's something fundamentally wrong with what, or rather who, Mingle Mingle is. Because Mingle Mingle is known to, when it speaks via intermediaries, claim that it was here in the Star Wars galaxy alongside the Celestials, the ancient unknown race of beings who seeded the galaxy with human life and created Centerpoint Station, among other crazy things. It was there for the Rakata and the Gree, or at least it knows about them, which also means they had to be there during the times of the Qua and the Killiks, when they held dominions in the galaxy far before the Republic. Tens of thousands, yes, even hundreds of thousands before the coming of the Jedi Order, the Sith, the Republic. It knows things that frankly no one else should, and this lends credence to, quite frankly, it might be telling the truth when it says it's that old. Not only this, but we have to talk about another more obscure piece of lore for Star Wars Legends. You see, the reason why the unknown regions are not more thoroughly explored and colonized is, yes, because it takes time and resources many governments are not willing to commit to. However, by the sheer fact that people within the known galaxy keep colonizing newly discovered worlds in the Outer Rim, in wild space, and even planets that just remained unfound, even closer to the core, shows that they are willing and able to colonize new worlds. One of the main reasons the Republic, or whomever may have the power to go into the unknown regions, do not, is because there is a hyperspace disturbance in a whole region of the galaxy that makes hyperspace technology near impossible to work and manage. It is possible, but the normal means of coordinate jumping is hazy and dangerous at the least, and at most, and frankly the norm for anyone who tries, it is usually fatal. We know the unknown regions carry races and species, even governments within them. Let me think. Yeah, the Chiss are, the clear example, and yes, they also know about the Mingle Mingle, and they consider it one of their top problems. The Croak, who sadly do not have a picture that I'm aware of to show, and the Lugubra, which I'm showing right now, which look like giant lampreys, are, I think the lampreys, are other sentient species who know of Mingle Mingle and are also natives to the unknown regions. So life does and can flourish in the unknown regions, leading to the internal speculation, and by internal speculation I mean speculation within the story, within the universe of Star Wars itself, that the disturbance had to be a manufactured and implemented effect rather than occur naturally. And if we are to believe the sources, then yes, they are correct. The Celestials themselves are given credit for doing this. Why? Because of Mingle Mingle. It is because Mingle Mingle, in its state, is a consumer of life. It spreads itself out by consuming all life, plants, oceans, and bodies. It infests hosts. It doesn't matter what species, human, Twi'lek, Chiss, Trandoshan, even a Vong would probably not be immune to their attack. Actually, I'd say a Vong is not immune to their what I'm about to describe. Because Mingle Mingle spreads itself across the person who approaches it. Usually, they're fascinated by it. They get drawn to it. They might even get attracted to a smell. It smells like sweet rot, apparently. And it sends pieces of itself onto the person's body, towards their mouth and their nostrils to enter their body. And if needed, it will bore into you through your pores. Once inside of you, it moves firstly to your brain and consumes it, killing you in essence, and spreading itself by growing on, consuming you from the inside out to all your other internal organs until finally it consumes you fully from within and fills you at the same time with its own growing mass, making your body nothing but a shell for it to use as it sees fit. It turns you in essence into a zombie, yes, but it's not that simplistic, such as, say, Death Troopers. Mingle Mingle has a voice. It can talk. It takes a host over, and though it consumes its vocal cords, the vocal cords, or analogous organ, of whatever species it infested, is gone because it consumes it. It replaces it with a sort of voice of its own, somehow manipulating itself to create that type of function, as the biomass of Mingle Mingle apparently just starts replacing things with itself. The voice is scratchy and unnatural, but it is its own voice. It likes using the bodies of hosts and sentient hosts more than non-sentient hosts because it prefers the mobility for infecting other life with itself and spreading, consuming all life until nothing is left but Mingle Mingle itself. No Mingle Mingle differentiates itself from the other. So in this way, it is a being in and of itself, rather than, or it's more of a vast body or a brain, rather than many people come together. It's not a hive mind. It's more of a one being that somehow, no matter where it is in the universe, can communicate with all other parts of it, all the other parts of itself. And it uses this mode to spread itself farther and farther apart, and it doesn't have the trouble of hive-mindedly communicating. Yet that is not all. Mingle Mingle is known to have a sadistic side to it, and a notion of self-importance and cruelty that would make some Sith Lords blush. For instance, Mingle Mingle will at times consume a child, and infest their bodies. Then it would die before the child's mother. Essentially, the Mingle Mingle would enter, say, a young boy, a young girl's body, and it would consume it. It'd kill him. And it would kill the child right in front of the mother and put her through torment. Only then for Mingle Mingle to consciously raise the child, quote-unquote, from the dead over and over and over again, merely to revel in the mother's pain, or father's pain, or whoever is in pain by constantly having their loved one supposedly come back from the dead just to die in front of that person over and over. over and over again. It can manipulate brains. If they don't consume them, they can manipulate the brain to see visions of that which they desire, only to have it taken away from them. By that I mean, a Mingle Mingle can enter your body and not take or consume your brain right away. It can, in fact, manipulate your brain and make you see things that you really want. Whatever that is, money, a person, whatever, great wealth. It can make you see it and make you believe that it's there, only for it to take it away. And again, just because Mingle Mingle enjoys it, it doesn't even have any force abilities. I doubt it can feel the force, and yet it's far more cruel and dangerous than any force user. Yeah, I said it. This is why the Celestials supposedly cut them off from the rest of the galaxy, because Mingle Mingle wasn't dangerous just to the celestial creations and seeded races such as humanity, but to them themselves as well. The most technologically advanced and confusing peoples to have ever been inside the Legends universe. Those who even the Gree at the height of their prowess and power revered, and whom the Keelix worked for, supposedly of course, because everywhere Mingle Mingle ends up almost always dies. In fact, it's toppled entire empires within the unknown regions by infesting itself onto many worlds of the empire or government in question, taking host and spreading the cycle of infestation. Not even the Rakghoul plague is comparable to the sheer decimation and infestation of this level can cause, and does cause. In fact, I would go as far as to say the Mingle Mingle could enter into and take control of even a Rakghoul if it came upon them. Why does Mingle Mingle do all of this? Really, it's unknown. Why it causes pain and revels in it? Why it controls people save for spreading its infestation? But then, why does it choose to create a ring of destruction around Mnggal-Mnggal? Mind you, this ring of derelict and broken ships is not just haphazardly placed. These are all ships that it came upon, from Gree to Republic designs, maybe even some Chiss ships. Like I said, things from Zim the fucking despot. Killed the crew, spread the infestation. Then Mingle Mingle drove these ships back to Mnggal-Mnggal and had them smashed together to form an obscene ring of destruction like the Kuat drive yards around an entire planet, as a sheer testament to its own power and will. To what end, no one is sure. Some more basic information on the Mingle Mingle is as follows. As I said before, it appears as a gray ooze and injects itself into those who get close to it, be they human or otherwise, even Nexu, the cat thing that attacked Padme in episode 2, or any form of life that it can enter into. When it takes over a host, if it chooses not to toy with them and their emotions, it causes them to make irrational choices, like I said before, such as opening a ship's airlock simply to kill everyone on a ship, then consume them from within. So, for instance, what I'm trying to say, because I might have muddled that sentence a little bit, is that if they go inside of you, I know that sounds weird, if they enter your body and they go to your brain and they mess with you, they can lead you to make irrational decisions because you might make you paranoid or crazed, and you just open up the airlock and suck all of your shipmates out into the void because the Mingle Mingle's in your brain fucking with you, because it just enjoys it. It revels in making people do fucked up shit for reasons undefined, other than it seems to just love to do it. And then, of course, it'll consume you after it's made you just kill a bunch of people. It also should be noted that Mingle Mingle, when you get close to it, apparently smells like sweet rot. Now, quite frankly, I don't know what sweet rot smells like, but I'm sure some of you might know, and that's okay. I don't need to know what it smells like. Due to its seemingly ancient age, Mingle Mingle speaks in a dreamlike, observationary manner, often in verse, metaphors, and riddles. It also spoke ancient languages and conversed in long-forgotten conventions of speech. Essentially, it models its speech off of all the peoples it's consumed, because it just knows. It knows how the Rakata spoke. It knows how the Celestials spoke. It knows how the Grease spoke. It knows how humans speak. It knows Basic. It knows the ancient language dialects, like whatever the Celestials spoke. It speaks in metaphors and dreamy observations in verses. It's odd. It doesn't talk like a normal being would, but then again, it's not a fucking normal being. And finally, as stated by the creator of Mingle Mingle himself, Daniel Wallace, Mingle Mingle is actually an extra-dimensional being in nature. It is not a being of the Star Wars universe, let alone the fucking galaxy. Much like the star being Waru from Crystal Star, a book noted by myself and any Timpedia fans as being, well, not so good of a concept. What does Tim think of Crystal Star?
Fucking awful. A god creature from another universe appears in our universe and either miraculously heals people or sucks out their life so he can power his way back to his universe. Fuck that. No, go away. You're not good.
Like Mingle Mingle... Ow, I really messed that up. Like Mingle Mingle, Waru is an extra-dimensional being that can heal almost any injury or malady, or apparently consumes people as well. It's not very clear why, but it somehow helps him or it get closer to returning to its own dimension. But that's besides the point. Waru is a whole nother conversation I'm not willing to get into right now. Needless to say, Waru, the star being from Crystal Star the book, is an extra-dimensional being like the Mingle Mingle are, according to Daniel Wallace, the creator of the species. So at the end of the day, why did I find this creature, or species, whichever you choose to classify it as, fascinating? Well, consider everything I just said. This is a being more than a species, and it has no bounds in what it can infest, save maybe droids or technology. It has led to the downfall of entire planetary civilizations by taking one host, then another, and another, and another. It has done the same on a galactic scale, and toppled whole empires who, under the weight of a full-scale infestation, have just collapsed. They can't handle it, because Mingle Mingle not only just makes people go nuts, but it just enters someone's body, can maybe make them run around like a paranoid idiot, and then just explodes out from them and it infests other people. It's gray goo, and it attacks you. That's why it has the fang thing that I mentioned earlier. As a pure glob of nothing but muck, it can form into these fangs, jab you, and from the wound just enter into your body and take you over. You're screwed. You're dead. That's it. You can't even cut off a limb. The thing just spreads like wildfire. It goes right for the brain. It has no care and no conscience for any sentient being. In fact, it likes toying with them, infesting them, making them paranoid and crazed to kill others and then consume them ultimately. It takes children and kills and revives them over and over just to take joy or humor in watching its mother or father break every time they see their child return to them. It builds entire planetary monuments to its will and power, and to what end? Ultimately, it seems to make all worlds like its home of Mug-Fallow, a barren, dead world teeming with more of Mingle Mingle readily available to consume and spread. In essence, without even having the Force, nor probably caring about it, Mingle Mingle is in fact the perfect Sith Lord. Or rather, a perfectly darker, even evil being or species, whichever one you want to call it. Its ability to procreate and spread based on dominating and consuming all other life, to which it will revel in their downfall and destruction and leave testaments to its own will and power and an ultimate notion of its own greatness. It's a being of unimaginable just selfishness, cruelty, and will to dominate that I think I just quoted Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry. But it has this all-consuming power and will that even the Sith would blush at. And that's why it is so fascinating to me that it exists within legends. But I digress. if I had to say on what level I find this species interesting, or maybe it would be better to say this being interesting, I guess. I want to say being, because it honestly feels like a being more than a species, but it's up to debate, kind of. But I think it is more of a being, especially since no matter where in the galaxy a part of Mingle Mingle is, it can know and communicate with the rest of itself what's going on everywhere else. But I digress again. I would say I wish that had been explored more. But that's never going to fucking happen now, is it? This, not the Rakghoul Plague, sounds terrifying to me. What are Rakghouls? No, screw... What are Death Troopers? They're fucking space zombies. Pure and simple. What is Mingle Mingle? It's a being, I'm going to say being, of great malice and no form save for darkened ooze that enters you and dominates you wholly to use you as a pawn to its will until your body rots. Yes, it does that after about a week. Sorry for not mentioning it earlier. And then it will take your family, your friends, your enemies, all of them, all the while enjoying itself without any real given goal but the self-propagation of itself to all corners of the galaxy, and maybe even ultimately the whole fucking universe. So, let me leave you with this. Mingle Mingle scared the Gree. Mingle Mingle scared the Chiss. Mingle Mingle scared basically every species that had to contend with it in the unknown regions, and Mingle Mingle scared the Celestials, and by extension, the Keelix and the Qua. No other being or group has ever reached that level of raw power in its very nature than that of Mingle Mingle.